How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about GGPI, which posted up a green day on a volatile Friday. There are many buyers coming into the stock. We've been talking about it for quite some time. Gave you guys what my game plan was. So I know for this coming week, you guys are going to know, hey, what are you looking out for, Dre? So I'm going to cover in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for GGPI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $12.22, being up 2.60%. On the low, it tested $11.96, and then on the high, testing $12.46. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we traded at 4.905 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 4.414 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, and this contributed to the strength we saw in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 68.82. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are above the 21-day EMA, the 50-day, and as well as the 100-day. And as you see this 21-day EMA cross over that 50-day and us showing this bullish uptrend, you guys know what I'm about to say. We want to see that price action above $12.50. I talked about this in my previous video because once we pass $12.50, I'm looking out for the breakout going to $13. And look how the buying volume has been coming into this stock and how we've been forming higher lows for several trading days. Yes, we did end up breaking the pattern on the 14th, but we just continued on seeing higher lows for the past 4 trading days. So if we end up seeing some strength in this market for the coming week, this is why I'm looking forward to seeing that bullish move. Now, many people are going to be asking me what's a good area for an entry. When I was talking about it before previously, saying it was a SPAC, $10 being the floor, if you can get it under 11, and even when it did fall under 11 and was trading in the 10s and consolidating, that was the time to add. So if you see it now at the $12 area and you weren't willing to add when it was trading in the $10 range or when it was around $11, then why buy in right now? At that point, you are FOMOing, but do your homework, do your due diligence, and figure out what's right for you. But if we do end up having a pullback, I'd want to see this $12 area hold. We ended up seeing a low of the day on Friday at $11.96, and if we continue to form these higher lows, that's why I'm saying at the bare minimum, I'd want to see $12 hold, but if we could hold up even at $12.10, that's a good look as well. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for GGPI. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. When we take a look at the recent filings for February the 18th, we have Lombard Odier Asset Management Corp that purchased 15,000 shares. And then for the 17th, we have Omni Event Management Limited that purchased 128,643 shares. Keep in mind, these are just the filing dates. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 47.64%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 1.33 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.4 million, updated 17 minutes ago. And then for the short ball-fee rate being at 2.31%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 17th, it's at 53.04. And then for the close of the 18th being at 47.64. So what this tells us, GGPI does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus on top of that, we did see a slight decrease in the short volume, but there's still a good amount of upside in this play. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for for GGPI. So we have on the inflow, it's at 11.78, and then on the outflow, it's at 12.05. So it ended up being an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0.47. On the medium, it was 9.06. And then on the small, it was 2.25. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.91. On the medium, it was 8.93. And then on the small, it was 2.21. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for February the 18th, so the Friday that just passed, it being negative just over 443,000. And for the 17th, you can see that we ended up having 0, but we did have 2 inflow days on the 16th and as well as the 15th. And then when we analyze numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.90%. So not too bad for a stock like GGPI. Keep in mind, we've been seeing increased volume coming into the stock. So with this, we're going to have people who are selling, and we're also going to have people entering with positions. So I see this leveling out as the weeks continue, but one thing that is for sure, as far as for the risk to reward ratio, it is paying off very well for us so far. So now let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for GGPI, as far as the technicals, I am loving it. And here's the reason. I told you guys in my previous videos, we have been forming higher lows, which is a bullish sign. Then on February the 14th, we broke that pattern. After breaking that pattern, we went back to doing higher lows for the past 4 trading days. So what does this show me? This shows me there's a lot of demand picking up in the market for GGPI. And I'm going to say, you know what, as far as the Super Bowl commercial, I think that helped bring it in a lot more attention. And now we're at a key level. What did I say? I said that we have to look out for $12.50. We ended up seeing a high around $12.46. And the moment we break through $12.50, then I'm looking out for the breakout going to around $13. And remember, I was saying this for quite some time already. If you guys have been taking your notes and doing your homework, you could have gotten to a position when it was under $11. Remember what I said? I love adding to my position when the stock trades under 11. And even if you wanted to add around 11, that is fine. But I just want to let you guys know, as far as FOMO and so forth, you don't need to do it as long as you have a strategy. So if you're up in this play just like myself and you were able to get in under $11, then congratulations to you. And if you are in at the low 11s, that is not too bad either, because that was an area I was considering before we had a pullback inside of the market. But nonetheless, you should be up and you should be smiling, and there's still a lot to look forward to. But one thing that I want to make sure I bring across to you as far as the risk management, if you want to make sure you are protecting your profits and you don't end up being in a loss just in case whatever may happen, then just make sure you're using the right risk management. So a good idea could be having a stop loss or protecting a certain level of profit. Again, I'm not going to give you guys an exact number because it's going to be different for everyone, and I want to make sure you're choosing a level that will be satisfying for you. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we see institutions are continuing to load up on shares. And as far as for the short interest, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So if we continue to see an increase in the buying volume, that's why I'm saying this stock should be above $13 in the near future. So this is why, do your homework, do your due diligence, and look out for those pullbacks. And as far as a pullback is concerned, because I know I'm going to get that question, I want to see us hold up at least $12. On the Friday, we ended up holding support around $11.96. So I want to see us being able to hold support at $12, and most preferably, if we could hold support around $12.10, it is definitely looking good, and it is continuing that trend of forming higher lows. So overall, in general, this play is doing well for us so far, considering the fact that we know that it was a SPAC and the floor price is at 10, and now we have people showing interest, but we were well in this before all of this excitement even started, and that's why I want to make sure that you guys are seeing success and you're choosing the right plays. When there was so much volatility, I was saying it like a broken record, the best play that offers a risk to reward ratio is GGPI, and this is what is happening right now, and many people are taking notice of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.